Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today is the first part of a brand new mini-series I'm doing, where I'll be giving my predictions of what I can see the next Mario Kart game looking like. In today's video, I'm going to be predicting the retro tracks that I think have a strong chance of making it in the next game. Now, I've made sure to prioritise tracks that haven't been remade in a while or haven't been remade at all, so you won't be seeing SNES Mario Circuit 3 for the 100th time. I also wanted the track themes not to clash with each other because I wanted differentiation in the selection, and also because some themes I've used and expanded on with my Nitro track predictions, which we'll get to in a future video. So with all that out of the way, let's just get right into it. So kicking off the shock up, we have DS Figure 8 Circuit. Now this is one of the tracks that has been remade since its original game, I wonder why. And it also has a lot of potential to add new things to it, like I could see glider ramp getting added to it, maybe doing it anti-grav after one lap, like it could tilt like Baby Park. You could also add some goobers, pipes as obstacles, some boost panels. So there's a lot of potential with this track, instead of it, just being a figure 8. Following that up though is 3DS Daisy Hills. Now yes, I know this was in Tour, but it deserves the actual HD remake, so it can have actual grass. I think this would be a good early track as well in the retro picks, as it's a nice simple one. It takes the farm aesthetic, sort of, and expands on it. It has multiple paths, which is quite cool, at the glider section, and it also has goats.
That's why it's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Yeah, I like this track. Continuing on though, we have Wii U's Sweet Sweet Canyon. I think this will be a unique track for an early cup in the retros. It's a simple one, but it's a sweet track. We don't have many of them, and this one did it well, so why not? And to end off the show cup, we have Wii's Toad's Factory. Honestly, I don't know how this hasn't been remade yet. It's a crime. Like, Nintendo just neglects this track so much, and I don't understand why. It's one of the best Mushroom Cup tracks, and just one of the best tracks, period. So I don't know how that's been remade. Literally, it is definition of a peak Mario Kart track. It's weird they make the item boxes. How's it not here? How's the game functioning without this track? Just saying. It does need to come back as well. I can only imagine the remixes on the engine or whatever they do with the music. Like, honestly. Ooh, that would be some peak shit. Moving on to the Banana Cup, we have a fan favourite from DS. It's one that everyone's going to be happy is back. It was in Mario Kart Wii. It's a brilliant track, and it's DS Desert Hills. Nah, I'm messing, I chose DS Delfino Square. This track hasn't been seen since Mario Kart Wii, at least with Airship Fortress. I know that got exclusives from the Booster Course Pass as well, but at least with that we saw that in Tour. DS Delfino Square we haven't saw since Wii, and it needs to come back. It deserves that HD glow up. Any changes I could think to do, maybe instead of the drawbridge like a glider ramp, or maybe keep the drawbridge because we all love that, and as like a little shortcut next to it on the grass where there's a glider ramp, maybe. Anyway, moving on to our next track, I've chosen SNES Koopa Beach. Now the reason I've chosen this is because this is one of the few tracks that are left in the SNES game, and it's literally like the last unique one. I mean, you've got your Ghost Valleys, but that will clash with another theme later. You've got your Bowser Castles, which will obviously clash with Bowser Castle later on, and you've got your Mario Circuits, which we'll get to. Now next up we have N64 Sherbet Lands. Now we haven't saw this track since Wii, similar to DS Delfino Square, and we need a snow track, so I'm putting this here. This definitely deserves a glow up. I kind of have a soft spot for this track as a Wii nostalgia, but I think it's quite a nice track. And those caves could look amazing in like the engine that Mario Kart 8 uses, presuming they're using the same one, because they don't really need to improve it. So yeah, N64 Sherbet Lands, you're in. Anyway, ending off the Banana Cup, we have 3DS Shy Guy Bazaar. This track has been neglected so much, and I don't know why. It was originally supposed to be in the first DLC, way back on the Wii U in Mario Kart 8, but was replaced by Neo Bowser City, I think. Then I think it was supposed to be the Booster Course Pass, but it just didn't happen, which is a shame because it's such a unique like desert track. Well, I wasn't even call it a desert track because it takes its themes so well, and it could definitely be expanded upon in, you know, a remake. So get it on in. I know it's in tour, but fuck it, just add it in. It deserves to be here. I know it's kind of an easy track to end off the Banana Cup, but these two first cups are kind of getting used to the tracks, then it'll progress. Anyway, starting off the Leaf Cup, we have GBA Cheep Island. Now, I think this would be a good starting track for this, as at first I was there like, well, this is kind of an earlier track, but in the original game, it's kind of in the middle in the Star Cup, so it makes sense to go here. It's a simple track, and I know it kind of clashes with SNES Koopa Beach, but it is a bit different. This one's got a sunset, and you're not really driving on the beach itself, you're literally just driving on the path and then the boardwalk. So maybe they could add some jumps and stuff to this and give it the HD glow it deserves, because this is one of the better beach tracks. So come on Nintendo, cook here. Following that up though, we have another circuit, which is SNES Mario Circuit 4. Now, I don't know why this one hasn't been remade yet. I'm not saying it's anything special or to write home about, but we literally had Mario Circuit 3 like 5 times at this point, and this one hasn't even been considered for a remake, and it's probably the most interesting out of all the original SNES Mario circuits. So yeah, add it in here. We need another circuit, and we also need another SNES track. So I think this would probably be the perfect place to put it, because it's somewhat challenging with the tight turns and stuff, so yeah, just put it in here. Now moving on to our next Wii U track, I have Wii U's Sunshine Airport. This track is just such a good track, man. Like, driving through the airport, then you go out on the airfields, and then you go up with the planes, and you glide all the way back down. It's just such a good track, man. And that music as well, God. Now I've chose this here because it's kind of a middle of the road track, and would definitely fit here because it's not that challenging, but it's not that easy either. So this is kind of like the bridge between difficult and easy tracks. Now ending off the Leaf Cup, we have our first GameCube track, and that's Mushroom City. Now, I don't know how this has been remade. This is literally the best city track in my opinion, until they make like New Donk City. But other than that, this is probably the best one. It's got so many different paths, so many good shortcuts. The traffic's good with the bomb cars and the wiggler cars, and it's actually quite challenging. So I've put it here to kind of like bridge the Leaf Cup to the Boomerang Cup, which will progressively get harder with the tracks. And this track, like fully HD with the lighting and stuff, will look amazing. Starting off the Boomerang Cup, we have our first tour track, and that's Tour Piranha Plant Pipeline. Bloody hell, that's a mouthful. Now, Nintendo doesn't really have a choice with this one because it's literally the only tour track left that didn't get brought over in the Booster Course Pass. I get why they didn't, because you had Piranha Plant Slides in the main game, and you also had Piranha Plant Cove to think about. So this one got left as it was a bit similar to Piranha Plant Slides, but now it's got its own identity here, so it can just get added anyway. It doesn't really have a choice. I can't really think of anything more to say, as I'm not saying it's a perfect track, but I can't really think of anything to add. Just maybe anti-grav in the whole pipes, like maybe you could go all the way around. That could be pretty cool. Next up we have N64 Wario Stadium. Now this track will probably come back in the next game because it's literally the only N64 track that hasn't been remade since the original game, so it's probably going to come back. There's a lot of potential with this, as there's all the tricks we can do now on the ramps. You could have an anti-grav section maybe. There's also a remake I've saw where there's monster trucks. That could be a cool obstacle. Nintendo, take notes. Now next up, I chose Wii U Wild Woods. I've grown to appreciate this more over time, because when it first came out on the original DLC, I was just there to my little kid self going, this is just a knockoff Maple Tree Ray. But I've grown older, I've grown wiser, and over time, I've grown to love this track, as it does the anti-grav gimmick so well. And let's not forget, the graphics on this are amazing. This is probably one of the best looking tracks in the whole Mario Kart series. And to end off the Boomerang Cup, we have 3DS Maka Wuhu, or whatever the other name is. This track and Woohoo Loop, one of these are definitely making it into the next game. It's the first time these are the 3-lap gimmick. It's the first time these are the crossover track, and I feel like recently you've been neglecting these, and this track is just, it's a chef's kiss. Same with Woohoo Loop, but I've chose this one because this one's a bit harder, so it fits here, and I couldn't really fit Woohoo Loop in earlier on. And this would be a great track to end off this cup, especially when you're going off in the sunset. Imagine that in the Mario Kart 8 engine, or if they're using a new engine. Now to start off the Lightning Cup, I've chose Tour Squeaky Clean Sprint. Now I've chose this over all the other Tour cities and the Tour originals because it's the most unique track out of all of them, and one of the most unique tracks in the whole Mario Kart series. Like, this is the only one that takes place in like a house really, besides maybe like Ribbon Road. And this does its concept so well. Like, you've got the bath bombs, you've got the drain, you've got the toilet that you can trick off, and there's all multiple paths, which makes this track really unique. Now I know some people probably think like, oh, why haven't you chosen Ninja Hideaway, as that's one of the most iconic tour tracks and one of the most fan favourites. Well, I'm going to be controversial and say that track is shit. When we get to my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ranking of all the tracks, you'll see where I put that. So Tour Squeaky Clean Sprint is going to start off the Lightning Cup. Now next up we have GBA Broken Pier. Now this track has a lot of potential in my opinion. Now Boo Lake, it was a good remake, but it definitely could have been fleshed out more, and this is a chance to do a Broken Pier since they're similar. Personally, the HD remake for this will look amazing, especially with that background. Like, imagine seeing that in full 3D, that'll look amazing. They could add lap gimmicks to this, so for example, after lap 1, the track will get more misty and foggy, so it might make it harder for you to avoid the cracks and stuff in the pier. Maybe in lap 3 it's completely fogged, so it makes it really hard to see, and watch out for the holes. Then there's that shortcut as well, maybe that could be like hidden, and that could have like a glider ramp or something, or a secret item similar to DK Pass from DS. They could also add a part where maybe you go in the sunken ship, or a little shortcut where you can get an item. There's so many opportunities for this track, and I presume it will come back because this and one other track are the only two left to be remade in GBA. Continuing on, we have Wario Coliseum from Double Dash. Now this track needs to come back as it's one of the few tracks that have been left in Double Dash, and it just fits so well with the anti-grav. There's so much you could do with this with all the twists and turns, and the 2-lap gimmick is just so unique. There's literally no other track that's done this ever. I feel like though Nintendo might change it maybe to the 3-section one, I don't know though. I hope they don't, because the 2-lap gimmick is unique and they kept it with Baby Park anyway, but we'll just have to wait and see. To end off the Lightning Cup, we have DS Airship Fortress. Now this missed out on the Booster Course Pass, and originally I wasn't going to include this as it was going to include DS Rainbow Roads, but I've changed that because I think this would fit in more, even though this sort of clashes with an upcoming track in the next cup, but we'll get to that. DS Airship Fortress, no changes needed really, it is just perfection.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
All it needs is just the HD glow, and that's it. That's all I can think of for this. And it would just be a perfect way to end off the Lightning Cup and get you prepped for the big final cup, which we'll get into now. Now starting off our final cup, the Spiny Cup, we have Wii Dry Ruins. Now this track is in tour, but it missed out on the Booster Course Pass, and it's one of the best desert tracks in the whole series. Probably is the best desert one. It's so unique with the temple part, and that could definitely be expanded upon, like maybe add, I don't know, some womps, make them like deserty, or the womps from Super Mario 64 maybe, that could be unique. Following that track up though, we have Wii U Cloud Top Cruise. Now this track could sort of clash with Airship Fortress, but it's literally the one part when you're on the airship for like a few seconds. Most of the track is you're on the clouds and the beanstalk roads, similar to the Sky Garden. But this track has always been one of my favourites from 8. Like, come on. Especially with the Gusty Garden music in there. Just so epic.
Now, this is epic.
Now there's a specific reason I've chosen the Spiny Cup to be the last cup of the retro tracks, and that's because I want this cup to be the Mario Kart Cup. Similar to the Special Cup, I've chosen 2 tracks, Wii Dry Ruins and Wii Cloudtop Cruise, but then we're going to have a Bowser Castle and Rainbow Road. So the Bowser Castle I've chosen is the GameCube's version. Now the reason I've chose this is because all the GBA Bowser Castles are done. We've had the N64 done in Wii. I know there's 2 other SNES ones, but I feel like they've just done it in the last one. You want to do a different one here. So the next in line is the GameCube version. And there is another reason I chose this, is because it's one of the harder ones. I mean, the only other hard one really could be Wii, but this one is quite challenging, you know, with all the tight turns. There's the Bowser statue that shoots the fire towards you, both ways when you're driving towards it and away from it. And I just think this is just a cool track, like the ambience as well, and the really tight hallways and stuff. It makes a really good track. And the final track to end off the Spiny Cup and the retro track selection as a whole is GBA's Rainbow Road. Now originally I was going to include DS's instead, but I changed my mind, even though that does deserve a remake as well, like especially with the anti-grav. But this one, originally I was there like, it doesn't really feel like a good track to end off. Like obviously a Rainbow Road, yeah, but GBA's is kind of just a simple one. However, I saw a few remakes online, which I'll show now, and they've proven to me that you can make this track better than it was. So I've changed my ways and I've put it here instead. And technically it's next in line if we're going off the pattern. We went from SNES, then we got the 64 one, and GBA will probably be next. A few things they could add to this track is maybe some rainbow thwomps, and then they can make the roads wobbly, maybe some chain jumps as well. You could also do a glider section at the end, do some anti-grav, or maybe anti-grav the whole thing. I reckon they should also keep the shortcut as well, but they'll have to figure out a way to get to that. Maybe just a little ramp, because the little side things in the original won't probably be here. And there you have it, my retro track predictions for the next Mario Kart. Now I'm pretty happy with this. I have changed it a lot from my original predictions, but that was because the original list was just a mess. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. However, if you do disagree with some of my track predictions, let me know down below, or let me know just your predictions entirely for the retro tracks in the next game. And if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe, it would be much appreciated, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.